Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Woo! Grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so you know what we're about to do. We are about to sit down and have a great introduction interview with one Mr. Nate Fields Jr., who is the candidate, the independent candidate for Thornton Township supervisor. But wait, Jason, I thought Tiffany Henry was the supervisor of Thornton Township. That is correct. She is, but her time is up. She was not able to get back on the ballot as an actual ballot candidate. So now she can only be a write-in candidate. That's almost a guarantee. She's running against the state senator, Mr. Napoleon Harris, as well as Mr. Fields. So this is going to be a really spicy fight. So tonight we're going to bring Nate on and just kind of give him an opportunity to introduce himself, tell us a little bit about himself, as well as his vision and goals as it relates to the township, where he sees the township going. And then, of course, we'll take some of your questions. So if you would like to ask a question, if you don't mind, just put an emoji in front of your question. It could be, a green heart and then ask your question. It could be, if you're a member, you can use the Tiffany emoji and anything like that. As Peach right here is doing right here, just put something in front of it. So this helps us to spot it, because I'm expecting it to be a very interesting evening. Lots of good conversation, lots of good things to talk about, and all of that. I do want to say right off the bat, thank you so much for Hannibal's Hungry for not only dropping the $10 super chat, but if you know Hannibal, he is a fantastic content creator. He makes excellent content. And hey, I'm glad that you stopped by. So thank you so much for not only making great content that helps all of us get better and level up, but also for the $10 super. Thank you for blessing the team. And he says here, have a great interview, DWC. I like how Nate said about how when chaos runs, only the lawyers are in control. I got you. Well, let's get Mr. Nate up in here. Make sure we got this right. All right. Looks like his webcam has not actually done its duty yet. Let's see if we can get back on. Give him a second. Okay, so for whatever. Okay, because Mr. Nate is not ready, we have a special intermission. Come on, real quick. What in the world?
Do you guys like my shirt? I just got it. It's new. I got it from Arrow. It's really cute.
Goodbye.
Girl, it is so cute, really.
It is so cute.
And it is my favorite color.
And it's Mandy's favorite color.
We had a good rehearsal.
I am glad to hear that. Thank you, baby. All right, enjoy your dinners, girls. I'll see y'all in a second. They just literally walked in. It'll be 5 hours, they said. Bless their hearts. All right, let's make sure we got Nate. We got you in here, brother.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I got you. There we go. We can't see you.
You can't see me. Okay.
We can't see you, but we might let that slide. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lessen the activity going on in the screen behind us, so we don't give somebody vertigo or something like that. So let's get rid of that. Let's go with this. All right. Nate, how are you doing, brother?
I am well. How are you?
Quite well. I'm sorry that we didn't get that sound check in place, but we'll make sure we'll play it off. No, nonetheless. All right. So if people don't know, and if you want to fiddle with your camera, please feel free to do so.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, nothing I can do on my side, but it's okay. You sound great. At the current moment, they don't know what you look like. You know what I'll do? I'll put the thumbnail back up. Okay, that's what I'll do. All right, so Mr. Nate Fields Jr., tell us who you are. Introduce yourself to the audience. Who's Nate Fields Jr.?
Well, I'm Nate Fields. I'm a candidate for Thornton Township supervisor, independent candidate, and I hope to restore some of what's been happening within Thornton Township, as well as provide some of what I think would be the best for the residents of Thornton Township. Okay. I'm a long time. I've lived in Thornton Township for about 25 years. I've worked for Thornton Township for 14 years in multiple departments, and I've seen the inside and the outside of the operating capacity of Thornton Township. And so I'm running to do the right thing, and I know I can do the right thing, and I'm fighting and doing the right thing for the residents of Thornton Township.
I absolutely love it. Give me an idea of, you said that you've lived here for 25 years. Give us a little bit of your background. Where are you from? You're born by the river in a little tent. Like, give us a little bit of the high view of who this man is, Mr. Nate Fields?
No, I would love to have been born in a river by a little tent, but unfortunately, I was born on the west side of Chicago, at Rush Hospital.
Nice,
And,
nice.
my family moved out to South Holland, the village of South Holland, when I was in fourth grade.
Okay.
In the year 2000. And since, been living in South Holland. I'm gonna cut his cam off and back on. Let me see.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I be paying attention to the comments, man. They be getting me sometimes.
I'm just at the current moment, we're gonna let them slide for the time being. We'll get you on here though.
Okay. Yeah, but I played football for a little league in South Holland. I was pretty good at football, believe it or not, even though I only weighed, I ain't gonna say how many pounds. I was a little dude, but I had heart. Okay.
I got you.
So I played for the little league South Holland Jets, and that's why I started to build a team type of skill.
Okay, I love it.
So after that 8th grade, I went to Thornwood High School in South Holland, and then now I didn't graduate from high school at Thornwood.
Okay.
I went off to get my GED at South Suburban College, and halfway through the course, I graduated and started taking college courses. Now, I actually started working for Thornton Township when I was 17.
Okay.
Right before I left Thornwood, and I worked in the ZAP program, which is the lawn care program for high school students. And the first year went great. Second year, they didn't want to hire me. I was a trouble student at the time.
Okay.
I said, I'm gonna talk to Frank. Y'all don't want to, the manager didn't want to hire him. Talk to the supervisor. So I set up a meeting with the supervisor, and I told him my situation. And I told him I was, I was in school, getting back in school. It's a nice photo you got. And Frank saw my situation. He says, he's a young man, he's interested in working, and let's give him an opportunity. So Frank gave me the opportunity to work again and make some money and help pay bills on my own. So, since then, I've been in Thornton Town. I've worked for Thornton Township. I've been through almost every department in Thornton Township, from the ZAP program to, the tax refund department, youth and family services. I worked with senior services.
Oh, wow.
I worked my way up into administration, and then ultimately I worked in the community relations department as the digital media specialist, where I managed our social media platforms and Thornton Township's website. So
I love it.
That's an earful, but
no, that's spot on the money. That leads me into, because you definitely are younger than most people that we've seen running in these various offices and such like that. You do seem to have a large bit of expertise. To help us understand and make the pitch for the township to actually select you. They might say, hey, you're just too young, or you don't have enough expertise. How would you bring together and answer that for them to make that right decision?
Well, then I would say, I bring over 14 years of hands-on experience, working across multiple departments, from administration to community relations, and my experience is not just from behind the desk. It's all around. I've been on the ground, engaging with residents, organizing programs and making sure, needs are met for the constituents in Thornton Township. And I like to say that I've been campaigning since high school, because, and I would say that only because I used to get into social media, and I was one of those Viners that did Vine videos, and while I was working at Thornton Township. So I was always putting my name out there, but in a good light. So beyond that, my technological expertise is a pretty decent advantage, I would say. I have a plan to modernize our township services, making them more accessible.
Okay.
With that,
explain that a little bit more. Dig into that a little bit.
Okay, so I like to open up a Thornton Township community engagement app. It was something that we started to work on, and then it kind of fell by the waistline within the community relations department. But the ultimate goal is to ensure that the residents are staying informed and can access our services efficiently. But it's more to it. The goal for this community engagement app is to also send out community alerts. You know, we have in Thornton Township about 5 high schools.
Okay.
And sometimes it snows heavy in the wintertime.
For sure.
For that purpose, our app would let out a message, whether it's a school closure or, you know, important information, whether it's, you know, a township meeting closed, or even just events in the community, or, you know, the budget analysis, things of that nature, so that the township is literally in the hands of the residents. So,
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's a smart idea. I like it. Nate, there's a couple of questions that I really want you to have your camera on to answer. So my producer said, turn your camera off and that should reboot it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you back just so we can give you a second. And I'm going to just go over a couple quick housekeeping things while you get that together, because I think they need to see you in order for 2 of these questions to resonate. Okay. So I want to make sure you get your full shine.
Gotcha.
All right, let's try that. Okay. So at the current moment, Nate, we just had a little bit of technical issues, but we'll get those ironed out. So thank y'all so much. There's some great questions that are popping up. If you do have a question, just add an emoji in front of it. It'll make it a little bit easier for me and the producer to spot it and see what you're doing, so we can make sure we bring those in. I had a couple of questions, but I see some really good ones. I might just go ahead and let y'all get the shine, and I'll just step back and let you guys and ladies ask the questions. So I'm hoping we can get him on, because one of the first questions I saw really, he needed to have his camera on to point it out. Did it work? Did it work, my brother?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Mandy.
Can I try to help him for a minute?
Most certainly. Let's go.
Okay. Go ahead and unplug it from the very bottom. Is it a USB camera?
Yeah, it's the.
Okay, unplug it from the USB and plug it into a different USB connector on your computer.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have EOS webcam utility hooked up. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, now the video is showing on the webcam utility.
So you can see it, but we can't see it. I got you.
Myself on webcam utility, but it's not showing on the StreamYard.
Okay, so close all your windows except for this one right here.
Okay, I'm closing them now.
Especially YouTube.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anything that requires the camera.
Yeah, if you have the camera open in any other window.
Yeah, EOS is not your friend.
Does he appear invisible to you, Jason?
I can't see him.
Does he appear invisible to you guys in chat?
Yeah, nobody else can see him. They can see exactly. They can see this little box right here, but that's all they can see.
Okay.
Are there any words in the box? No.
It just says your name, Nate Fields Jr.
Okay.
That's all I got.
He's floating.
Now, I really wanted to have my camera up because I want to. I want to look just as clear as you, Jason. I just want to look just as clear as you on here. Okay.
We'll get you on here. Yeah, they just see your name. Sorry about that, brother.
How about I just disconnect all together?
You're invisible.
Why don't you restart and only open up the link that Jason sent you?
Okay.
Okay. And jump back in here.
I'm gonna drop you back and give you a chance to reset.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right. So we got a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's okay. That's okay. We'll get it ironed out. So thank y'all so much, everybody who's tapped in. We're sitting here having a conversation with Nate Fields Jr., who is the rising independent candidate for Thornton Township supervisor position, and just gave us a quick lay of the land of who he is, where he's come from, and of course, what are his expertise and what does he see himself bringing to the table. And I think he's got some pretty nice ideas. We're going to see how they all meter out. And of course, we're going to get into a little bit more. I got some more spicy questions for him, so to speak. But if you would like to ask a question, first things first, if you want to, make sure you hit that like button. Thank you so much, Lady Luck Club. I appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button. There's about 200 80 of y'all in here, which is amazing. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Just hit that like button and then jump into the best live chat on the internet. But then also, if you would like to ask a question, just put an emoji in front of it. It can be a thumbs up. If you're a member, you got the Dear World Christian emoji, you got the Tiffany Henyard emoji, whatever. Just put an emoji in front of it. It'll make it a little bit easier for us to identify it and bring the question forward so we can answer it as well. What do we got here? So I do see some great questions. First of all, I want to say shout out to Bashful for becoming a member. Shout out to you joining the team. Thank you so very much. And of course, I said thank you so much to Hannibal earlier. I really appreciate that, brother, not only for your content, but for your support and your guidance, because you do some great work over there, man. Absolutely. All right. I have not gotten my brother Nate back yet, so I'm going to keep filibustering. Well, thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I know there's already some good questions. I've seen them scroll through. Just put an emoji in front of it. Makes it a little bit easier for us to identify them, and we're going to bring those back up. And we'll make sure you can see them, Shelly. I know we're going to get that taken care of. I think they can in utility. You have to use your phone, not your phone. You have to use your camera as a webcam, not through the utility app. I did that one time, and it was a mess. But we learn for sure. In the meantime and in between time, I know that over in the township today, they did not have a township board meeting today. They had one scheduled, but they didn't have it. They canceled that. So we know that that's what's happening. And we also know that there's been a couple of videos dropping. If you in Dalton and you're keeping up with what's going on, the shenanigans in Dalton, there have been a couple of videos and receipts dropped. We'll probably talk about those. We're going to ask Nate a little bit about what he thinks about some of the shenanigans and chicanery that's been going on in Dalton. But really, hopefully that's going to be in the rearview mirror. We want to look at what's moving forward for the township and what's moving forward for Dalton. So that's where we're going to really be focusing and zeroing in, even though I am going to ask a couple questions about Tiffany, because I think it's kind of comical. So we will see when he gets back in how where he lands with that as well. What do we have here real quick? Thank you there. No apologies, just me. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy. Thank you so much for the $10 super. Thank you so much for blessing the team here. Oh, does he have a slate running? I don't know. That's a great question. We'll find out in a second. You don't believe in stolen fire trucks? Come on now. They stealing fire trucks all over the place. Just zipping around like I'm zipping around in my Hellcat. Like just all the time, right? All the time. That was embarrassing. That was very embarrassing that she tried that. Matter of fact, let me see real quick. Is she doing some more shenanigans? All right, Brother Nate, where you at, my friend? All right, let's see what he's got. He has not come back as of yet. Thank you so very much for the super chats. Thank you so much for the support, Kiana, as well as others. Thank y'all. All right. Now, especially if you are a Thornton Township resident, I would love to hear especially questions from you all, because you all are in the trenches. So I'm here in Georgia. I'm just enthralled in what's going on, but I know that this doesn't ultimately impact, Whitaker Park. So I would love to know, what are your questions specifically? You know about the food pantries, you know about the various and sundry programs that the township offers. So when you're asking, definitely bring those questions forward and let's make sure we get those answered. Let me see what happened to my guest. All right, he did not text me back. He didn't say anything was wrong. I wonder if he just rebooted his computer. Okay. All right, got Mandy. What you got, friend?
Those computers can take a minute sometimes, Jason. Just take a breath and,
Okay, fair enough.
It's got to go all the way to space and come all the way back down and hit the computer and hit the Wi-Fi,
I totally got you.
Some
what I can do,
questions coming through, though.
Oh, that's some
love
great
the
questions. Thank you.
I love it.
I want to make sure we have time to give them all their fair hearing, but that's okay. We'll get it together. So I mentioned yesterday that we were going to do in lieu of my not really the best video that I was like, this is not a really good video compared to some of the other ones.
That
All
is
right.
tomorrow, isn't it, Jason? Isn't voting tomorrow?
It is, absolutely. Okay. So if you go to my channel, there's a playlist called Little Tiff Tiff Diss Tracks. And I've been collecting all of those videos that people have been doing, whether they be AI or actual singing and such of that nature. So they're all listed right here. And of course, as I find more, I'll add them. So we'll be doing a listening party tomorrow. So if you go, matter of fact, let me just grab the link. Here we go right here. Bang. All right. So when you get a chance, these are most of the ones I found. There are some like that are on Facebook only. And I didn't get permission to take their content off of Facebook and put it on YouTube because it might be copywritten or whatever like that. So these are the ones that were on YouTube. So if there's somebody else, you can definitely let me know. Let's see the brother. Oh man, we about to get fancy now, y'all. Let me get this out of the way. Where's this? All right, let's get Fancy Man in the building. Now we got Mr. Nate Fields Jr. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. How about you?
Quite well, sir. Welcome back to the show. All right. So we know who Nate is. And there's actually a question about that little hat that you got on your head. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to give you a second. I'm letting you know that question's coming in. But, okay. So you were telling us before we dipped off that you were thinking about starting an app, which I think is incredible. That would give, I think you said, put the township in your hand. Is that how you said it?
Pretty much put the township back in the hands of the residents. Right?
I like that. I think that's almost kind of be considered two ways. You can consider that both ways of the actual physical phone is in my hand, but the access to the information is also, I really like that. That's super slick. Okay. Now, Nate, in a perfect world, you're elected township supervisor. What's your day one activity? What are you doing?
Well, day one, we'll have to remove the previous supervisor's name off of everything. That's just
why is her name on everything?
To happen. But I think it's important to perform, or at least get in the process of performing an audit, an independent audit, so that we can see where the money is, where has it been going, and then we can start to track how we can start to save money on our for our taxpayers.
I love it.
Additionally, we'll have to meet with the managers of the various departments to see what's working, what's been working, and what we can do to kind of scale back on what we've been doing. Because the previous supervisor, he's done a lot for Thornton Township. And I know that the current supervisor has kind of been mimicking some of those things. But starting over fresh, I think it's important to start over and really look at focusing on what really matters.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, do you already have a slate? Do you already have a team, or are you planning on developing a team after it? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I do not have a team at the moment. I'm
okay.
working on a team. I know it's running really short on time, but I am interested in, honestly, as far as the team goes, I have a great deal of supporters and people that are willing to work with me. I'm building up on my my dry erase board. I got a list of people that are going to be on my street team. Now,
for sure.
That I got a street team. I'm building. I don't want to say too much about how I'm coming, but
no problem.
It's definitely be something come election time for sure.
Okay. I love it. Okay. So I think I got you down pretty well. I have some more questions, but I do want to, there've been some hard and fast, hot and heavy questions coming in. So I'm going to actually give over to the audience and take some of these audience questions, because there've been some great ones. All right. And the reason I want to make sure you had your camera on is because the first question from Mark said, what's the significance of the 333 on your hat? And I'm going to give you I'm going to let you get a drum solo moment in answering that. So it's all you.
Okay. So 333 represents, first, it's the address of the Thornton Township headquarters, right? The main building's address is 333 East 162nd Street. Secondly, 333 is an angel number. If you look it up, it represents strength and growth and elevation. Nothing but positivity stands around 333. Third, I was born at 3:33 a.m. So to me, I feel like representing 333 all the way around is just completely positive and powerful. And I think it's something that we should all kind of bring together. So when I thought about making this hat, I wanted to make it in a way that it's not only beneficial for the campaign, but also something that people can take with them and wear, on a day-to-day routine. So I think that to me, it attracts good energy and positivity.
Okay.
And when I walk around with it, people say, "Hey, man, where you get that hat from? It's a nice hat." And so, I encourage them to get out and vote and let them know it's my campaign. But more so, I want them to, represent the threes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much, friend. Now, thank you so much, Kiana. Kiana says this: we know why you would be better than the current supervisor, but why should the township choose you over the caucus candidate? And I mean, we know Napoleon Harris, established here in Illinois and such like that. So why would they choose you over him? Would be the question.
So I know Thornton Township. I wasn't born and raised in Thornton Township, but I learned to learn Thornton Township and love Thornton Township. And I've built a lot of relationships in Thornton Township. Now, I actually reside in Thornton Township in South Holland on the Thornton Township Road. Why I would say residents should pick me is because tax dollars are very important in Thornton Township. I'm pretty sure a lot of the residents know this. And when you're choosing a candidate, you want to make sure that tax dollars are paid in a fair manner. And I'm saying this to say, I'm sorry, am I frozen?
You froze, but don't worry about it. Let me unfreeze. Let me just do this. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
There you go.
So now I know that there were speculations about the residency of my opponent. And, I don't know exactly where he lives because I've never been to his house or in his house, but I would say that I visited the townhouse complex where he claims to live, and I talked to some of the residents, not only campaigning, but just to see, the truth. And, the residents told me what they told me, and to me, it's clear and evident that if you're going to run for an office, you probably should live there because your salary will contribute to the taxes that we all pay within Thornton Township. Well, whereas if you live outside of Thornton Township, then of course your salary will go and pay taxes in a whole nother community, and then your taxes will pay for schools in that community and the township in that community and so forth. So while I would say that Napoleon may be a great candidate, but I've been here, I've fought for the people, I stood for the people, I've been at the meetings. My opponents, I can't say the same. I was there when the fight happened. I was there advocating for the people, and I just truly believe that the residents have to really look into what they will be voting for when it comes election time.
I like it. Hey, speak to this, because this is actually one of the reasons why I actually liked you. As I said, the first picture I saw of you was you actually in the township, in Township Hall. I said, oh, he's actually been there. I said, I don't think Napoleon, I've never seen Napoleon there. He's going to have to get like a new employee walkthrough. Like they got to walk him around and show him stuff if he got elected. So just for me or for the residents, give us the state, in your opinion, because you've been there, what's the state and the condition of the township? Would you give it 4 out of 5 stars? Would you say it's on life support? What would be your measure? And what would you say would be the condition?
Life support.
Okay.
We don't have a fully functioning HR department.
Okay.
Our staff are like against the wall. I talked to a lot of the staff that's worked there prior to the new administration, and a lot of them kind of move. in a sense that their livelihoods might be at stake, at one day, and
Right.
I really feel for the current condition of the township, but we are hopeful. It's good that this doesn't last forever.
For sure.
But yeah,
Okay.
I would say it's on life support. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll you can bring some new life into it. So this is actually a question I think kind of running in that vein. Shout out to First Lady Brown. She says, "I know you're currently running for supervisor. My question is, why would you not run for trustee first?" And she says she appreciates you, Nate.
So as I get asked that a lot, to be honest. Someone said that I should run for library board for South Holland, but I don't know much about the library board.
Okay.
I know enough about the trustee position, yes, but I know a lot about the supervisor position. Now, what a lot of people don't know, also, and I'm pretty sure a decent amount of people do know, is that Frank Zuccarelli was a great supporter of mine, and vice versa, and he showed me a lot about the operations of Thornton Township and the way that it operates. So,
Okay.
in saying that, I like to focus directly on what I'm going for. As far as going anywhere else, I feel like it's out of line of what's in sight for me. If that makes sense.
Okay. So you feel pretty driven to that the supervisor role is a logical step for you, not just going to trustee or any other role. You see this as being the next move for you, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Correct.
Okay.
I feel like my trust has been proven
Okay.
already over the years. I've always moved in good faith, and I've always treated residents with respect, and I've always been there to help. And so as far as the trustee position, I wouldn't mind being a trustee, but that's not my passion. It's not my goal, and it hasn't.
Okay.
So that's the reason why.
No, I love it. I love it. And stick with you. You know the story that you're writing, and you know which way, what each chapter is supposed to be, because you're the one writing that story. So that's fine. However, this story has been written by somebody else for a while, and it's not been it hasn't been a great story. So now I want to hear, Justin says here, what is your plan and your vision for the township, and how do you plan to change the narrative from what Tiffany has did to the township? And I agree with that question. So how do you plan on recrafting and maybe reintroducing the township to the world? Because the world is watching you, which, no pressure at all, but it's something to think about. Like, everybody's watching this, and now they're looking at Nate might be the one to start rewriting the story. What's your plan?
So I have a plan, but we have to make sure we have Okay. We have to make sure we have a good board of trustees. That's really important. Now, a lot of people may think that the supervisor can do all these wonderful things. While that they may seem true, there's certain things that the supervisor cannot do, and he has to do it with the board's approval. But I would love to see the township back in the hands of the residents. Now, as far as the daily operations of Thornton Township, the supervisor is there to, pretty much monitor and supervise. As far as any programs being started, any brand new things, I'd love to see a farmer's market, a Thornton Township farmer's market for once. But if the board isn't voting on it, we can't have a Thornton Township farmer's market. I'd like to see a program that enables young entrepreneurs to grow their small business into a place throughout Thornton Township where they can, start their business and run and operate their business through a program that Thornton Township has. But we have to move funds and approve budgets and then have that happen. So while I may have a vision for Thornton Township, we can't do it without a good board of trustees. But as far as the inner workings of Thornton Township, open book policy is something that I'd like to implement, where residents can come in and see what contractors we're using, what contractors we're paying, and the financial situation of Thornton Township, just an open book policy so they can see everything that's going on. I think that's very necessary. Other than that, we have to reestablish, like I said before, our HR department so that we can start to tackle, litigations before it gets to the court proceedings, because that's a big deal for me, because
Right.
the attorneys eat up at a lot of taxpayers' money, and they really have to pay attention to the decisions made by the board.
I love it. Okay. No, thank you, man. That's great. Now, earlier we talked about day one. You were saying that there was going to be an audit, and I realized that shout out to Paul Roberts. He said, "Hey, Nate, the forensic audit approved on 9/24/24 is long overdue. Will the township have to pay for it, or will the IRS share what they have been collecting?" Do you have any insights on that or wisdom you want to share on that?
You know what? Paul is really good at asking really hard questions.
Yeah,
This
that's
one
true.
this one for me, I do not have the answer for. I'm sorry, but it's something that we should definitely look into. I think that it's important to, if there is information out there already, we should tap into the IRS, see if we can get that information, and figure out how we can use it to our advantage, as opposed to paying for a whole independent audit to be done.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, man. Great question, Paul. What does Kevin say? Kevin says here, you mentioned building a mobile app for residents. Do you have a time frame when and how this can be accomplished? FYI, all folks speak positive of you. Thank you so much, Kevin. I approve of that message. So you have a time frame if you were going to roll this out? What would be your vision for it?
My vision would be within 6 months, we'll start with a soft launch of the app. And it won't include everything, but we'll start to add things as the years progress.
Okay.
But 6 months, I'm giving it 6 months, and then we'll have that app fully available for residents to download. But it'll only be one download per household. So
Okay.
not everyone will be able to download. We don't want to overload the server, and then everybody just has access to Thornton Township's app. But we have to have a tracking mechanism where we can say this household is controlling this user for this app.
Got it. Got it. All right. Another fan of yours and a Thornton resident. Question for Nate. Will he take additional steps to get more students involved in summer lawn care programs and less contractors? And I want to build off of that. So I'm gonna let you answer. No apologies, just me, but I do want to answer. I want to build off of that as well.
So yes, absolutely. I think that first we have to turn HAP back into ZAP. Okay. It should have never been turned to HAP. It's got people asking what happened to ZAP. But
Could you explain what ZAP and HAP are for the non-documented Dalton and Thornton residents? Because we don't know what HAP and ZAP are.
So ZAP stands for, it's an acronym for Zuccarelli Assistance Program. It's a program that Zuccarelli started for high schoolers, excelling high school students that wanted to make an additional income through the summertime.
Okay.
Tiffany Henyard came in and turned it into HAP, the Henyard Assistance Program. Well, we're going to go ahead and convert that back to ZAP because Frank started it, and we're going to make it back for the excelling and achieving students through the different high schools within Thornton Township.
Love it. Okay.
Okay. Now it's freezing like this. I don't know if it's my connection, but do you mind if I go check it real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Let me. I'll
be ready.
I'll jump in. All right. Thank you. That was a great question, and this kind of leads me actually in a question I had about, and he might explain a little bit more. And when he talks about the Zuccarelli acceptance program, I want to know a little bit more about these contractors. Because it just seemed like they had contractors for everything. Like, my goodness, in the morning. But they didn't have programs that would allow young adults to do things that keep them out of trouble. Like, you learn a useful trade of pushing a lawnmower, shoveling snow, or whatever. So hopefully that'll be something that, I don't know if that's what it was before, or maybe this will be like ZAP 2.0, whatever. But I would love for that to happen, or at least hear more about it. So thank you so much. No apologies, just me. Great question. Let's bring Nate back up in here. All right. So Nate, I don't know if you heard, but I was always wondering, why do they have so many contractors? If you could pay a contractor, couldn't you pay some young adults to do some of these things like cutting seniors grass, $10 to cut somebody's lawn? That might encourage somebody to do something rather than go out and cause trouble and chaos. Is that what ZAP was about? Like, could you explain ZAP a little bit more?
So ZAP was initially, like I said, for high school students. But it started to take a turn when it started to not be so much for excelling high school students. And I kind of watched this throughout the years.
Okay.
The ZAP program started to be for almost just for anybody,
Okay.
And so regardless of if they were convicted of anything, and so it's unfortunate, but then people stopped coming to work, and it just got a little out of hand. And so we started to fall short on lawn care workers, and then that's where they got to the point where they felt the need to contract to catch up with the work that has been missed.
Okay, that makes sense then. Because I was just wondering, like, if you have a glut of young adults that are not doing anything and they don't have jobs, don't have work, but you have all these contractors, maybe they could be doing what the contractors are doing. Not saying that you're going to pay them considerably less, but you're going to pay them less than a contractor, and you can still get these lawns cut and so on and so forth. And then they have a little bit of understanding of being their own entrepreneur, I've earned something by the sweat of my brow versus I've never actually had a real job before they get out. So, okay. No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, brother. All right, let's keep this going. We got lots of good questions, man. All right. So some people are asking questions about Napoleon's living, and that's okay. But I want to get it here back to Kevin. Based on the poor decisions of the current supervisor, what is one policy change you will do to prevent the same chaos? Can you make background checks mandatory?
Of course. I think that every employee, everyone that want to work for Thornton Township should have a background check. We need to look into what they've done in the past, where they live, where they reside, where they're from, and what they do. What is their passion? We don't want people coming in from. Now, I've experienced someone having a fake diploma and somehow finessing their way into working, and then when it was time to get the job done, they had a hard time doing what they were supposed to do.
I can imagine. Yeah, absolutely.
That we have background checks. Yes, 100%. That's why we need to establish an HR. We need a system in place. Once we got the system, it's out of my hand. It's out of my hand.
Got you. No, and you said like day one or first thing we're going to get a working, functioning HR department, which I think is very smart. I didn't know they didn't have it, so that's dope that you're aware and you know what something that you want to bring into the mix day one. What do we have here? Does Nate have ideas on who he might want to serve with him as far as trustees and his administration? You kind of allude. You don't have to give us names unless it's like Paul Roberts or something. You don't have to give us names, but give us some. Do you have ideas?
I like Paul.
Oh, Paul's great.
But I don't have actually right now. I don't have anybody in mind to work in the administration other than a few members that have worked in the administration before. I like to see some type of a transitional operation team that could start to mentor young professionals or anybody interested in being hired or work into learning the job at hand.
Okay.
We have a young lady. Her name's Bernice Shepard. She was the administrative assistant under Frank. Really nice lady. And I asked her if she was ready to work. And she said, I don't know. And, I wanted to run it by her that, I may need you to train and let, someone work up under you so you can explain to them how the daily operations of Thornton Township works.
Okay.
And so I do plan to bring back some of those key players. Oh, Lord.
Don't worry about it. Don't even sweat it.
Okay, yeah, I
You
do
know,
plan to bring back some of those key workers and make sure that any new employees understand the protocol and how we operate here in Thornton Township.
I got you. No, you seem like you got a great thought right there. What is what was Clark saying to you at the election hearing?
Oh, Clark was he told me that he was all for young people getting into politics, and it was
Okay.
he was saying it's over with for the old heads that are holding on to positions for so long.
I
That's
like
that's
that.
mainly that's mainly what he was talking about. But other than that, he tried to keep a good positive interaction with me.
I love it. And yes, Lady Luck Club, we were discussing decreasing the contractors. And so, yeah, I think she's just commenting. So I just want to make sure I noted that. Shout out to Reality Check TV. This is another one of your Chicagoans. He just says transparency. Vote for Nate. Natural, authentic Thornton executive. Did you know that your name was an acronym? I
No.
love it. Shout out to Reality Check coming in with the bars. Now you got to add it. You got to put a beat to it though. Now don't let us down. Put a beat to it. At least for election night. You got time now.
That's a
Reality
lot
Check.
to remember now. Natural, authentic Thornton executive. I'm for it. Natural, authentic Thornton executive. Okay.
You got room on that hat, man. You can put it on the back part. Put it on the back.
That's gonna cost me extra words, man. Them words long.
The words is long, bro. We're gonna get you back on
I
there.
feel a t-shirt. I feel a t-shirt coming on. I'm just saying.
There you go. It could be a t-shirt. There we go. Nate, shout out to Tanya Harper. Nate, how important is it and will or does the supervisor need to build relationships with the 17 municipality mayors within the township? Outstanding question. Outstanding.
I think it's very important, but we can't force anyone to continue to engage. But I think it's very important now. What I am interested in doing, something that we've done before at Thornton Township, is a group of community liaisons. Now, this group will go out and they specifically, their task is to go out and go to different board meetings and sit at the board meetings and see what what the cities or villages are needing from Thornton Township or what they're looking to do in their community. But that's something that we have to put together, and we have to make sure that we have the right people. Now, I've looked around and I see some people that I may find a liking to, that ask really good questions that I'll have to have as a community liaison. Some in Harvey, some of them live in Lansing, some live in South Holland, but we have to have them on that team.
No, that's very smart, because if you think about it, you got 17 municipalities. That's a lot of board meetings every month to connect with. So yeah, I can totally see that. Do you plan to do some things, connect with the actual mayors and their administrations, maybe sit down and have a powwow with them specifically?
Yes.
Maybe on day 5. It don't have to be on day 1, but maybe day 5 or day 25, something like that.
I would love to bring them all together and figure out a way that we can talk about the youth and how we can engage the youth and keep them engaged. What may they be looking for in their community? What can we bring to the table? There's a program that I like to have, even though the board may have to vote on it, but it's a young entrepreneur program to guide them into success for their business.
Okay.
Now, River Oaks Mall is pretty empty right now. It says about 17 vendors there, not including the big stores like Macy's.
Okay.
And I think that if we could help guide an aspiring hairstylist or a guy that wants to get into photography and have his own photography studio, just guide them along the ranks and say, hey, we have a spot right here in River Oaks Mall or a spot over here in Lansing. It's been abandoned, but we worked something out with the mayors where we can put you in this spot. But you have to do right. We've guided you along the way. Let's get your business flourishing, and let's get your business paying tax dollars so that we can take down the tax burden from the homeowners.
I love it. Okay, no, that's great. So it sounds like you've thought about these way more than just pie in the sky? Are you going to starve the trustees and feed the people? Will you be dropping a better question? Will you be dropping a rap album?
No.
Okay,
no,
thank you so much.
No.
All right, not a snippet.
No, not me. No, not me.
Okay, you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
I just want to know, man. Just let us know ahead of time.
People like, I see that it's been a couple rap battles that came out. I mean, 3 songs I've heard so far already about this. So I'm like, maybe
I have a whole playlist. I have a whole playlist on my channel.
Oh, you got a playlist? Okay.
I have a playlist. I've collected a playlist of them. We're going to listen to them tomorrow. We're going to do a listening party tomorrow because it's just that comical. But let's get back on task. I'll get us way off task. We'll be over in the woods somewhere. What's your current relationship with the trustees? Do you have any relationship with the current trustees?
I've had a previous relationship with Chris Gonzalez.
Okay.
That's pretty much, Stephanie. I have had a previous relationship with Stephanie. Actually, we still have a pretty good relationship. But as far as Carmen is okay. Me and Carmen have a pretty decent relationship.
Okay.
We didn't in the past too much because she called me a hater.
No, not a hater.
Something that I said that the administration should have done differently. But Darlene, I thought we had something going, but she's I don't know what's got into her mind. I guess she turned into one of those minions. Okay. And who am I missing? Darlene,
Chris, Carmen.
Yeah, that's
Stephanie. Am I missing one?
Yeah.
And then we got a clerk. So no, you're good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna need a security detail? You're gonna need $1 million a year security detail. Okay.
No, man, I walk around by myself as it is, and I plan to stay that way. I may need 1 security guard, maybe 2 if we go into a big event, but I've done a great job at staying out the way, not being in opposition and
right.
Some things of that nature. So I plan on continuing to be self-litigant as I've been doing. So
I love it. So rounding these bases, we're going back to this app. This app has got a lot of people interested. So shout out to that. So the question about the app, what are your plans, or what will they do for seniors who are not as tech savvy as the younger generation is?
So I know that seniors do appreciate their food boxes, and our food pantry is really known for that. So within the app, there will be a simple button to request a food box that they will press. Okay. And as long as they're a member under the app, they'll be able to request a food box. And it's as simple as that. They just log in, press a button, and it'll be pending. And I'm pretty sure there will be a message saying, whether it's approved or when it's going to be delivered, etc.
Right.
Also,
if they're not tech savvy, though, if they don't have access to the app, or they're still on the flip phone, whatever like that, will there be some, for lack of a better term, antiquated, dial-up type of way for them to do that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. The old way will still be intact. You can still make a phone call. You can still. We don't have the website isn't set for ordering via online, but yeah, you can still make a phone call or come up to the office, etc. We won't just jump right into the app. No, there's no way. So there will be a dual platforms for that purpose.
Perfect. All right, Jennifer. Shout out to Jennifer Roberts, the wife of Mr. Paul Roberts. Hey, Jason and Nate in the chat. How will you show the residents of Thornton Township that they can trust you, since the current administration lacks accountability and integrity? Shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Well, I thought I did a pretty good job at showing the residents. I'm always there. I'm always showing up. A lot of people have my phone number. It's on my Facebook page. People can call me at any time. I'm here. When I say I'm going to do something, I do my best to do it. But as far as how I can show the residents I can be trusted, you have to trust me. I'm telling it to you. You can. The residents can trust me. For the ones that know me already, it's no question about it. But I really don't know what would be the best answer. But just to say, trust me, we just have to
Well,
trust each other these days.
no, I agree with you, and I think just as long as you're doing trustworthy things, you will build that trust. So if you're a trustworthy person, if you say you're going to be here at this time and you're there at this time, slowly over time, people will say, "Oh, Nate's a trustworthy person." If he says this time, that's what he means, and it's going to show up.
Oh,
So
like
I can rock with that. Go
if I
ahead.
say I'm going to go to the township board meeting, show up on time, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, and be
Absolutely.
there. Yeah, I think that's what, and I think also I lost her question, but she was also talking about transparency and integrity. I think also just being a part of the community, because I haven't seen Napoleon there. I ain't seen Napoleon there, so not throwing shade, but where you at, Mr. Napoleon? I know Mandy had a question. I got 3 more before we wrap the bases. So come on, Mandy, what you got? She is
Hey, Nate.
Hey, Mandy, how you doing?
Good. First off, how old are you, Nate?
I'm 33.
So you're not some 20-year-old that doesn't know what he's doing, that's still hanging out with his buddies, going mudding and all that stuff, right?
No,
You're professional.
I have a house on an acre of land that I need to take care of. And I have a son. He's 2.
Okay.
He needs to go to school.
I respect that 100%. I have a son as well. So here's my question. What is your goal and how far do you want to get with the township? How far do you see yourself going?
Minimum 3 terms.
Okay.
May just give the township 35 years.
That is very, very admirable. Really, it is. That is a lifetime. So
It's a long time.
like, it makes me tear up for real. You want to spend your life giving back to the people? You want to feed the people.
Feed the people. Why not?
I'm sorry. I hear these Tiffany-isms in my head all day. I'm sorry. I had to do it to you, Nate.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But really, that's very admirable. And I hope you win, Nate. I am praying for you. I'm laying you at God's feet right now. And if it's God's will, it'll happen.
Thank you, Mandy.
Congratulations, Nate, in advance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, Mandy. All right. Are you going to eliminate I'm gonna speed run through some of these. Are you going to eliminate all registration requirements for events? I'm not certain I know what this is, so you probably know what this is.
Yeah. So like Big Bingo. I get it.
Are you gonna keep Big Bingo? Are you gonna keep it big, or are you gonna just like medium sized bingo or Weight Watchers bingo?
Weight Watchers is great. Now, I don't plan to discontinue bingo. Okay.
Right. Okay.
It's been big bingo, but it should really just be bingo.
Right. But I heard she was giving away stuff like washers and dryers and refrigerators and stuff and TVs. Like
TVs for sure.
Yeah, they might have been embellishing it with washer and dryer.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely heard the TVs. I've seen TVs. Yes.
I do not plan on continuing big bingo with TVs. Okay.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of seniors that come to these events, and I think that our seniors value quality of life. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I would like to see big bingo, and what will happen once I'm elected.
Okay,
big
I like
bingo,
it.
We're going to have healthy alternatives to the prizes.
Okay.
Could be like tickets to a cruise downtown on the lake, maybe a gift food box from our local health food store.
I like it.
Maybe a 1 month pass to a somewhere. I don't want to say gym membership or something along the lines of health and wellness.
Got it.
And to improve the life of our residents.
I love it. I love it. All right, Nate, we're going to put in place. Nate, who would you put in place for administrator, and would you keep Robert Hunt?
I have to say this now. Robert Hunt hasn't, to me, strike me as a irresponsible person.
Okay.
Although he has his job, as the finance director, there are certain things that if the administration calls on you to do certain things, you have to do your job the way that the administration wants you to do it. I've seen Robert's his work ethic under Frank Zuccarelli, and he
Okay.
did a phenomenal job at doing what he was supposed to do under Frank. Now everything streams down from the leadership of the supervisor,
Facts.
you know. But Robert, I would say, unless proven otherwise, I may just end up keeping Robert, and I just have to say that. I know Robert. I know his wife, his family. I've done photo shoots for his family's birthday parties and things of that nature. He never rubbed me off as a bad dude. I think he does the best that he can, and I like to see him continue to provide for his family and keep up his lifestyle for his family.
I like it. Okay. You got any opinions on term limits? Ask Lola Smith.
Term limits. Well, I know right now that supervisor term is 4 years, but if you're asking how many terms I might, is that
Right. Do they have? Can they just keep going? Like,
no, it's just
You know,
every 4 years is a new election.
right. But like, how many times can they be elected? Maybe I should say it another way.
Oh, as many times as the people vote
Okay.
that person in. Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. So would you be opposed to them saying, okay, you can only be supervisor for 3 terms, or so basically 12 years, or would you say no? Just if the people like them, let them keep rolling.
Pretty much, I would say if the people like him, let him keep rolling. If he's doing a good job in the community, why cut that
Okay.
out and allow anything else to change about it? You know.
I can dig it.
Yeah. So if it's good, let's keep doing it. But if it's not so good, maybe we should consider, consider term limits.
I got you. The skating rink is in Dalton. You don't have any. You're not in control of that. That's a mayoral thing in Dalton.
Mayor of Dalton.
Yeah, and have mercy because a lot of us are undocumented Thornton residents. So a lot of us, I'm getting pretty good at mixing up Dalton and Thornton respectfully. So this one right here, Mitzi says big bingo services for the seniors, like a beauty day at a local salon, or I'll add spa
a good
to it.
idea. See, we
There you
need
go.
ideas like that. I like that. That's beautiful. I like that. We actually have Thornton Township, has had, I don't know if they have it still, but a foot doctor at the
Okay.
Senior Services building in Calumet City.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strictly for our seniors. They should go in, set up an appointment, and they can get their feet taken care of. But
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's still continuing under the current administration.
Okay. Well, we know that under the Fields administration, hopefully that will be returning. If not, made better. All right. You may have spoken about this already, but what about financial literacy? Thank you, Goldfish Loves. Any plans, any ideas, any visions or goals as it relates to bringing some financial literacy to the township and helping people understand their finances?
Okay. As far as financial literacy, there are a few goals. I know that in our local schools, they don't too much teach financial literacy as much, but I think that is something that we should start to educate our constituents on. In 2017, I actually was the Thornton Township Democrats, Young Democrats president,
Okay.
and trustee at 2 different
wow.
terms. But where we managed the budget. The budget wasn't so much at the time because this was in 2017. But I also worked 3 years, 2.5 years as a manager of student life and leadership at South Suburban College, where I managed the budget of about $30,000.
Wow.
But I also had 4 employees or student workers underneath me and an assistant. And I managed the various student groups and organizations as well. Now, in managing those budgets, I would say that I wish I knew more about financial literacy going into those fields. So, me being, I wouldn't say young because I'm 33, I'm halfway to 66,
There you go.
But I think that it's important to educate our youngins and even, adults that may need help with financial literacy. I think that's very important.
I like it. And helping disabled and elderly apply for bankruptcy. I think that would go with definitely would go with financial literacy, Mandy. So in all of those aspects, whether it be balancing your money, understanding what you're paying, or of course how to take care of if you are in a bankruptcy situation. So I can totally see that. What do we have here? I got two more good ones. What program, if any, that Tiffany started or advocated for would you keep? Thank you, Mike. Great question.
That Tiffany started. I think mental health is important. She didn't start it. She wanted to pass. She wanted to pass something through the election process for a mental health facility, but that got shot down. But I think that's very important. I think that we should focus on ways that we could enhance the mental capacity of our residents and constituents. I'm really big on health and wellness.
Okay.
Ever since COVID and what's happening with COVID, I feel the need to push organic, consumption of foods.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I said before, I like to open up a Thornton Township farmers market and incorporate a program where residents can grow crop in their own backyards and sell it to the farmers market. And then, we can, of course, sell it to anybody in the community, outside the community, that's looking for locally grown produce. But then we got to look into the legalities of what if they spray something we don't like on the produce, etc. But we'll really have to be paying attention to how we inspect, their gardens and etc. But mental health for sure. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. But mental health.
It's okay.
Bingo. I like bingo. The residents really, the seniors really like bingo. I'm going to continue bingo.
You be playing bingo, man. You be playing bingo.
No, I don't. I'm not a big gambler, man. To be honest with you, I'm not big on gambling. But for a cruise in the city now, I would I would get invited to on that one. But yeah, I think that pretty much. What other programs has she started? I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know of other programs. I think they probably would say, the windows and roof program. Is that a program that she started?
That was a Dalton thing. If I'm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. See, told you I'm messing up. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's fair to say that you are open to working programs and programs that work and are viable and useful. Them remaining. Is that fair?
Yes. Give me 1 second. My laptop may die. Hold on 1 second.
We don't want that to happen. All right. So we're just rounding these bases. Thank y'all so much, man. This has been a great conversation with Brother Nate Fields. We're going to come back in a moment. But I got like 2 more questions in here. I see. I'm going to get 100% back on my taxes. Man, then you know where to send that money to right here. Send it on over here. I appreciate it. But no, y'all have been great. Thank y'all so much, every last one of you.
Hey, I got time now. Don't just go on me now. I'm putting it on the charge.
He put it on the charge. He got power. He said, look.
There we go.
He back. All right, let's get him back in here. All right. Now, Lynn says, I live in the township, and all I want to say is I believe in you and the fresh air that you're going to bring. Shout out to that. I agree with that 100%. Thank you so very much for that. Absolutely.
Back on taxes. I can't say yes to that. I'm sorry, but I'll do the best that I can.
98%. 98%. We're having a sale.
Well, 98% of what we're going to.
My God, that was a joke. I'm sorry. That was.
We're perfectly fine with that. What does Paul say right here? What programs should the township run that the residents need and that they can't get from any other government agency?
Can I say the food pantry?
I don't. Do you feel good about that one?
I do. Let's see. We have a lawn care program. I don't know if any other government agency mows lawns for our senior citizens. We have Youth and Family Services. Now, Youth and Family Services has a counseling department within that counsels families.
Got you.
I don't know if there are any other government agencies that does family counseling that Thornton Township residents can have access to.
I
Um,
got you.
we have see a taxes assessed, journalist. LAHEAP is another thing. LAHEAP, I wouldn't say LAHEAP. You can go to other places for bill assistance. Um, transportation.
Okay.
We have PACE and there
hmm
are other methods, but transportation doesn't require that much of a budget. The bus drivers, they don't get paid as much. A lot of them are all of them are part time, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and Frank used to let and allow retired individuals drive the buses, and people that don't need as much of income, but at
Okay.
least something to do. So that saves a lot of money on taxpayers.
Is that your battery? What is that?
It's like my chargers keep reconnecting.
Okay.
To,
So this is a question I've been wondering. And I'm going to take Patricia Smith's question and I'm going to kind of augment it a little bit and add a little bit of flair to it. And we'll see if we can make it a more fuller question. Now, she says, what about teens paid to do shoveling and grass cutting? And we kind of talked about that with the contractors, but you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So my question is, do you have relationships? Are there relationships with the local churches that might be willing, able to step in and take care of maybe even just their parishioners? If they just say, hey, we'll take care of, I think we might have lost Brother Nate. All right. Because is he back? No, he's not back. So my question was, do you have relationships with churches that might want to or might be able to step in and take care of some of their parishioners? And most of you all know I am a deacon. We take care of a lot of our own person's lawn care. Smyrna Press takes care of that. Whether it be we hire somebody to do it or we go out there and cut the grass ourselves, we'll do that. So if we were in this Thornton Township situation, there's several seniors that are in the township that wouldn't have to go to the township to get that taken care of because we would do it. So I was just wondering if Nate would be open to or look into building relationships like that. But he has looks like his situation has not come back yet. So no, that's a great question though, Patricia. And I'll wait to hear what he has to say about it. I'm probably have to say over again.
You're going to have to deal with me till he gets back. I love him. He doesn't dodge questions. Oh.
And here he comes. All right, bring him back in. All right, now he's back again.
I'm so sorry about that, man. My laptop died on me, so I'm on my computer now. Oh, look, we got Frank right there in the back.
Okay, okay. So you may not have heard. So I was just wondering, do you have any intentions of developing relationships with your local churches that may be willing and able to provide just the lawn care and shoveling support for maybe even just their parishioners or people in their immediate community and whatnot? Have you ever thought of that, or would you be open to that? What are your thoughts?
I would be open to collaborating with the local churches in the community for sure. I know the South Holland is big on churches and families. I think that's something that's very important that we at least involve the churches because a lot of people go to church.
Absolutely.
But as far as shoveling snow,
it is. I'm just thinking like year round. You got shoveling snow, you got cutting lawns. So maybe just those two aspects that seniors might need or persons may need to be taken care of.
Yeah, I think that shoveling is a something we got to kind of skate around because there's a lot of issues that can come with that. People slipping on ice, hurting themselves from the equipment, and or if we go out and shovel some snow and a senior come out and slips and fall, then she blamed the township. So, but as far as working with the churches and having the churches involved, that's potentially something that we could work around and make happen. But it's all up to the team that I have with me to make it happen. Can't do it without the team. It's not just about me.
I love it. Okay. Now somebody said threw this out here. Goldfish Love says, how about a once a month senior dance party, senior only dance party, along with the bingo? So that's something to think about.
Bingo.
It's
Okay.
not really a question. It's just a statement. So
Okay.
no, I love it.
Right.
This is a good one right here. I haven't heard this one. Do you have a relationship with Napoleon?
No.
Okay. Y'all ain't gonna arm wrestle or anything. Y'all don't
Nah.
go out to play pool or anything.
We
Okay.
do not. We haven't had a relationship. No, I've seen Napoleon probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And
Okay.
out of those 4 or 5 times, we probably only spoke once.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at one of his events, and it was really brief. We probably said less than 5 words to each other, and we went separate ways.
Gotcha. Now somebody asked, were you bondable and insurable? But I mistakenly clicked on the button and got rid of the question, so I couldn't pull it up. So I apologize. Are you bondable and insurable, Nate?
Yeah, I like to think so.
Okay. Well, good. So shout out to Lady Luck Club. She says this: do you have a tracking app or QR code to track ballots? And if not, would you consider that?
To track ballots.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
It's my first time hearing about it, but yes, I would definitely consider. I think that's very important. It's something that I could use for sure.
I love it. All right. What about the community? What about a community garden to sell goods at a farmer's market? Money can be used to some of the residents' events. So,
Absolutely. I'm all for it, Samantha.
yeah, thank you, Samantha. Excellent question.
Yeah, that's up my alley.
Are you get rid of most of the employees in the township that did whatever TIF needed them to do to keep their jobs, and will you hire folks that reside only in the township or reside in the township?
So my ultimate goal when hiring is to hire within Thornton Township. That's the way Frank did it. He hired within Thornton Township. I believe that if you're getting paid within Thornton Township, that money needs to be paid back into Thornton Township.
Makes sense.
Now, as far as the people that worked under TIF, the people that she hired is I don't know what other way to put it. They weren't there. They wasn't with us shooting in the gym. Okay.
Right. Right. No, okay. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Justin Kendrick. Appreciate you. Nate, are you going to take measures to start with a new administration?
Yes, absolutely. Set aside from the few that I'm going to bring back from the previous administration, I'd like to start to transition into a new administration once they get the hang of how things operate within Thornton Township. Absolutely.
I love it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Blake. We appreciate you. What do we have here? The Real McCoy says, now I consider Nate young enough to relate to the youth. And I think that's a good point. You said you're 33?
Yeah, I'm 33.
I love it. All right, let's keep this going. I don't know if I put an all call out, but all these questions are coming in. Queenie says, what about having Meals on Wheels for the seniors? Lots of people concerned about the seniors, which is good.
Yeah, we do have a delivery service for seniors that need food. I don't know if we would transition into anything at the time, but maybe in the future we may look into doing something more accessible when it comes to pulling up with the meals. You mean like the hot plates, right? And with the Meals on Wheels.
I'm pretty sure that's what they meant, but I mean, I've heard that and she might be using Meals on Wheels kind of like in the generic sense. Okay. It doesn't have to be the exact, that program, because there is a program called Meals on Wheels. But I've seen hot programs as well as cold programs that they can take care of and heat up in the microwave or situation like that. So,
okay, yeah, maybe in the future, but as far as right away, I think that we have to slow down and just take a step back and take a deep breath from what we've been inhaling all this time for the past 3 years.
I got you. I think we know this question, but who inspired you to take your journey into politics? Thank you, campaign. Thank you, Peach.
Who inspired you? You know what? I wasn't as inspired. I'll be honest now in saying this. The the mistakes made by the current supervisor inspired me more than anything.
Okay.
It made me believe that I had what it takes to be the next Thornton Township supervisor, if we're being honest.
No,
You know,
that's
I
smart.
learned a
like it.
lot of what not to do. You know, I already knew what to do. I just didn't know what not to do.
What not
And
to do.
now I know what not to do. And so that inspired me more than anything.
I love it. Okay, no, that's smart. I like the way you answer that. What would you say is your major difference between you and Napoleon?
I would say personality.
Okay.
I would say that I'm not shying away from anyone. I don't care who you are, you know. And pretty much also the fact that, you know, I've spent over a decade working for the township of Thornton. So
For sure.
just continuing that servitude to the people of Thornton Township.
I love it. All right. These last two questions I think are kind of similar. So I'm going to actually pull them together. First question is, will you collaborate with the mayors? And she said the mayor. I think I'm going to just augment it, Patricia, and say the mayors. And we kind of discussed that, but I want to add this question to it as well. How would you handle if someone or several people, let's just say mayors, did not agree with some of the ideas that you had? How would you work with, you got 17 mayors that don't want the community garden or don't want this program that you're thinking about doing, and let's say there's 5 or 6, 7 or 8 of them that really are not feeling you. How are you going to work with them? What is your plan for that?
Well, first of all, we got to hear out the people that are saying that they don't agree and try to understand why they have this this opinion or why they feel this way. But I've realized that as a supervisor, like I said before, I am only a part of the team. And so it's not up to me that my ideas come to life, but it's up to the team that we agree and work together to make the dream come true. So if it doesn't happen right away, I'm not, as long as we can still, pay our bills and satisfy what we need to do, it's not a big rush for me. It's not a big rush.
So developmental question. So you would be willing to negotiate if it were a idea that, let me just throw a number out there, that maybe was $1 million, but the mayors don't agree. They're like, look, this community garden for $1 million is crazy. Let's split that in half. We'll work with you for 500,000. Would you be willing to? I just threw a number out there.
Go ahead.
A crazy scenario, but I just want to give the spirit of the idea that you'd be willing to negotiate and work with people that we could all benefit from it, rather than saying it's my way or the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I probably wouldn't be the one to say $1 million. I'll tell you that for sure, because that's a lot of coverage.
Right.
I'm really big on starting small, except when it comes to me running for office for the first time.
Okay.
But I think starting small gives us an opportunity to scale back and see what we're excelling at, what we can change, what we can do better, and then elevate when it's time.
I like it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. One Shot Beauty says, giving wonderful responses. I agree with you for sure. Thank you, One Shot Beauty. Now, Peach says this: do you feel like you have the temperament to deal with opposing views and perspectives of the people of those 17 villages? That's a lot of folk, Nate. There's a lot of people.
Absolutely. I've dealt with it over the years. When I first met Frank, there's a lot of people saying, nasty things and dirty things and coming up with rumors just to try to disqualify me from getting to this point that I'm at now, at least stopping me in my tracks. But the goal is to excel and move forward. So, even though we may have a minor setback or a small disagreement, we got to figure out a way to satisfy everyone and figure out a way to make things work, for everyone. So opposing views, I'm all for it. I expect it,
For sure.
They tried to knock me off the ballot, the ballot.
Mhm.
That was an opposing view, and fought through it. And guess what? I'm back on the ballot. And April 1st. That's all I got
Yeah.
to say. April 1st, time to vote.
I love it. I love it. Somebody asked this, and I didn't realize that this was such a contentious topic, but I'm assuming he'll bring back public question and comment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm bringing back more. Okay, there will be beverages at every board meeting.
Oh, not
Yeah,
turnips.
drinks,
Not
bring
turnip.
some water, maybe some coffee or some juice. Eat a couple snacks, and there will be priority seating for seniors and disabled and vets
Okay.
of Thornton Township.
Of the township. I got you. I got you. All right. I like it. I like it. Lots of comments. People seem like he's a team player. I've seen this several times. I like it.
Sure.
And
okay.
lots of people say they feel you, man. They're feeling what you're doing.
All right.
All right. Nate Fields for supervisor. Okay. You've won a contingency over here. I like it. I like it. All right. Well, millions of thousands of people see was brave. Okay. Doing this where millions of thousands of people to see was brave. And it shows that you are what you're made of. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mandy.
I appreciate that. No.
It says doing this where millions of people, thousands, would see shows me what you were made of. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Mandy.
Didn't I just
Sorry.
read that?
No, you didn't read it like that.
I just read it.
Millions thousands of people would see shows.
Just read that. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Mandy. So Nate, all right, make your appeal. All right, I'm gonna give you a big screen.
My appeal.
I want you to make your appeal. These are the undocumented
Appeal.
Thornton residents. I want you to make your appeal. Why they need to not only think, hey, Nate seems like a good guy, he seems like a genuine guy. I like Nate, blah blah blah. But they need to go into that booth on April 1st and punch the ticket, right? Pull the lever, whatever it is. So make your appeal for them to make that decision come. It is April 1st, right?
April 1st, absolutely.
Okay. So make that appeal. So you got yourself ready? You ready? You loose? I'm gonna give you a big
I'm
screen.
not loose, but I could try to get it loose, man.
All right, I'm gonna give you a big screen. I want you to make that appeal. Why should these people, the undocumented and documented Thornton residents, why should we select you to be our supervisor? Here we go, Nate.
To the residents of Thornton Township, I have not only spent over a decade serving the great residents of Thornton Township, but even after, continue to stand with the residents of Thornton Township through turmoil and chaos. I will continue my servitude to the residents of Thornton Township through transparency and accountability, and with a smile, and also continue to be a leader for the younger generations coming up and show them that anything is possible as long as you continue on the right path. April 1st is slowly but surely coming up. We have to make sure we choose someone that is not only on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence, but within the fence with the residents of Thornton Township. That's pretty much it, Thornton Township. I guess I don't know if that was good enough. Was that appealing to you, Jason?
I loved it, man. No, that was great. And you can clip that, and that will be part of your campaign push. Absolutely, let them know, like, hey, I'm for these people. I'm for you all. So absolutely, I agree with GB right here. Lots of clapping going on. Why don't y'all just go ahead and flood the chat real quick? Go on and flood the chat. Go on and put Nate in the chat. Let him know we appreciate him stopping through tonight, brother Nate. Not only had a long day of campaigning, but stopped on through to bless us with his story, give us some of his insights, and help you all understand a little bit more who he is. So shout out to Nate. Fill it up. Fill it up, my man. Fill it up.
Well, there we go. Look, please, if you can, support the campaign by getting one of these hats.
Is that on your website?
It is on my website. It's currently on my website. It's only $50 right now. That's $25 for production, $25 towards the campaign. This is to help afford yard signs. You know, I may be interested in getting a billboard done, maybe some shirts and some pins, some badges. But please do go on and get a hat. If you're in Thornton Township, the yard signs right now on my site are $10. I'll be able to get 2 yard signs for the price of 1 if you could donate to help out for Election Day. But please do donate to the campaign, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I've never had this much support in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know how to take it, to be honest with you. But
Love it.
I do appreciate the love. I definitely appreciate the love, and I hope y'all continue the support for real.
Real quick, as the mods are getting your link in the chat, tell us how we can donate. Like, what are means? And I like this question from Natalie. What are means by which we can donate and support what you're doing?
Okay, so I believe that you can go to any BMO Harris Bank and let them know you'd like to make a donation towards Nate Fields or Friends of Nate Fields Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also visit my website at natefieldsforthornton.com. And make sure to spell Thornton with an N.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat.
Thornton.
And here's the I'm also dropping the donation page directly. So here's his page, and here's his donation page right there.
That's perfect.
All right, let me see. I'm just double check, make sure I didn't. There's lots of support in here for Nate. Shout out to you, man, Nate. You're coming in here stirring it up, man. People are excited to hear what you're doing. I think you bring in a different perspective and a different voice. Lots of people it seems to resonate with them. So that's what's up, man. I appreciate it. And I mean, we are a little disappointed that you're not going to be dropping a rap album. A little disappointed in that. We're a little bit disappointed.
First you said a track, and now you want me to drop a whole album?
Well, at the current pace, I'm not going to talk about it, but we haven't actually had a whole track yet either. So
true.
There's that as well. So, yeah, please make sure, please make the rounds on the YouTube channels who are credible. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I will share with you some content creators that I know that would love to have you come on if you're able and willing to, give some time and I know you've had a long day already, and come in and give some more time. I think this will be a great way for you to get your voice out there and let other people know who you are. Clearly the 333 is resonating.
I'm right now, I just got my hat made, and I was waiting on this hat to get made before I started doing interviews. So since the hat is made now, I've been contacting YouTubers all day, Jason, saying, hey, when you ready, tomorrow, okay, let's do it. Right now is the time for interviews. So if you want to come back on, we can get on later, maybe after the election.
I like it. Well, we already got Lady Luck Club, so you can go ahead and get Lady Luck Club. I'll send her your information.
Okay.
She just texted me a moment ago. I think that's what you texted me, Lady Luck. Okay. I'll make sure that you have her information. Y'all can link up. I think she'll give you a great interview as well and give you more opportunities to, of course, let people know who you are. Great idea. Let's see what Goldfish says. When people donate, please get back to them and let them know you receive their support. Gotcha. Okay.
Receive.
I like it. I like it. All right.
Thank you, Sean.
She said she's proud of you. Okay, Blake. All right. Now, lots of good stuff in here. I'm just letting folk because it's good to. Somebody said they'll rap for your career, for your campaign. I love it.
Let's see it. I want to hear it.
Okay, you got to put it together, man. You got to put it together.
I need a theme song.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what's the rest of the, okay, tomorrow, of course, is the primary in Dalton. All eyes are going to be on Dalton. Somebody said all the tripods are going to be out in Dalton, but there's no rest for the weary. So what are you doing? What are you working on this week to get your name and your face out there? Besides, of course, jumping on YouTube like this, what you got planned?
This week is donations. I need as much donation as possible. So I will be doing interviews. Send a couple letters out to a couple businesses in the area to see if they would donate to the campaign. I will be door knocking as well.
Okay.
That's this week. Moving forward, we'll have to see what I have, but I'd like to host my first fundraiser within a few weeks.
Okay.
I won't disclose where, but I want to make sure it's accessible to the seniors and the residents that may not be able to go upstairs and things of that nature. So within the next few weeks, I do plan on hosting my first fundraiser. And so after that, yard signs, billboard, and then I'm open for suggestions. I'm kind of alone. I hate that I'm kind of alone with this. If Frank was still here, I would have a whole team, but unfortunately his whole team went the other way and kind of overlooked me. But I do plan to make the best of it and do the best that I can in this position.
Well, thank you, Queenie, for the $20 super sticker. I appreciate it. And of course, everybody, please make sure you grab the link to my guest, who is Nate Fields Jr. He's running for Thornton Township supervisor. And grab yourself a hat, give him a one-time donation, all that kind of good jazz. Matter of fact, let me make sure I do it while I'm sitting here. Yeah, I'm just going to do it right now. But please make sure you go support this young man. If you've been watching and keeping track of the shenanigans going on in the Southland, and he's like, man, I don't like that. I don't like what I'm seeing. Then this is a good opportunity to at least put a little bit of metal behind that and actually support somebody who's trying to do something different for this community, especially if you, like myself, an undocumented Thornton resident, and you support these people, you support them, and you want to see them do better. Then let's support somebody who's trying to do better by way of supporting the community. So shout out to him. Thank you so much, Nate. I am finishing up. Oh shoot, I think I know.
And I want to say thank you for having me, Jason. The clean podcast, man. I like how you got the setup. I like how you got my picture over the yard sign.
Yeah.
I was just looking like the M is cut off. I wouldn't have had my picture over the M. That like something I wouldn't do. But
wait, your face right there?
Yeah, you see my face over the M on ThorntonTownship.com.
I see it.
Yeah, I was looking. I'm like, you had to have put the picture over the yard sign.
I did.
That's pretty impressive, man. I gotta say.
Oh well, I figure most people realize that it's .com at this point in the game, and I didn't want to have your face, like your eye, cut off by moving it over. So I was just. And I wanted it to be big enough to fill up the whole page because I wanted people to get an idea of what your face looked like. So that's why. But I totally get it. I get it. Always working on improving. So I accept that for sure. What we got here? All right. I've done my. Why don't you like Georgia? Oh, okay. You got to type out the word Georgia. Sorry. All right. I made my donation. Okay. What we got here? This just real quick.
Thank you.
No problem, brother. No problem at all. Highly impressed. I love it. Please make sure you like the video. I agree with that. Absolutely. I see it. Looks like we got through all the questions. We made it through to the end. We made it.
I see. Okay.
I love it. Well, Nate, you have my number. So if you ever want to come back on, you got something new that you're working on, and you say, hey, Jason, I want to come on and talk about it, you're welcome. If you want to come on and tomorrow we'll be doing a little listening party and watch party to see how things go over in Dalton. You want to jump in? Absolutely. But you'd probably be out there trying to knock on some doors and such like that. But either way, whenever you want to, you're more than welcome. You're a friend of the family. You're a friend of the channel, rather, and a friend of the family. So you're welcome to come through whenever you need to, man.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Hey, no problem at all, Nate.
All right.
Enjoy yourself, man. Congratulations on it. Godspeed. And I'll see you real soon, friend.
All right.
I'll drop you back. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had Nate Fields Jr. stop by. Thank y'all so much for supporting him. Thank y'all so much for being encouragement. You all, man, you guys made me feel like I was going to run. You guys are great. So thank you so much for, again, proving the fact that this is the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much. So if you don't mind, hit the like button. We're going to get ready to get out of here because I need to go check and see what the dynamic duo is up to. So I thank y'all so much. We'll be back tomorrow for the watch party. So we're going to be back around 8 o'clock or so. 8 o'clock my time, so 7 o'clock Dalton time. And if something changes, you'll see the thumbnail, of course. So thank y'all so much, everybody. And until next time, grace and peace. See you soon.